press record the red button again. And
I came here in 1967, September.
21st of February 1968 when I came here.
My name is Prem Shankar Rajoriya, and I am 86 years of age.
I am Vijaya Rajoriya and I just turned 80.
I was born, Asha, in a place called Gwalior. Country is, of course, India.
I was born in a small village in India called Tikamgarh, and that's the central part of the central province in India called MP, Madhya Pradesh.
The name of the place where I was born called Mawasi Ki Bagia. That means actually it was a kind of garden, and there were two houses in it. My grandmother was there at that time. My parents, my father, my mother.
Oh yes, lots and lots of friends, yes. I remember there were a group of 4 of us, in high school, and we were very, very close.
And some friends used to come from across the road. So we used to have really very good time playing Indian games like kabaddi and dangli. We used to climb on trees, being a bit naughty. I will never forget that place, yes.
We don't really move in India. Only people moved were for further education, and if they wanted to specialize, they moved to other cities.
How old were you when you first met Daddy Ji?
Oh, I was 27 years of age, I believe.
1967.
Just before I met her, actually, I had plans. And in fact, everything was really well planned to come over here in UK. And there were only 6 or 7 months left before I met her.
We were introduced by families, and then we met up at my place, had preliminary talks, and with family. My husband now asked my mother if he had permission to take me out. So she said yes, as long as it's not here in this village.
There where we made final decision that we are going to, I proposed her there, and she sort of accepted, and I was quite pleased.
He was okay.
It was okay.
Just after that meeting, after I think a couple of months, we got married.
from my bottom of my heart, my darling wife.
I always had a very fervent desire to come abroad, really.
I only came here with 2 pounds and a bag full of clothes.
I was a bit naughty, actually. I used to smoke those days, and cigarettes, and little bit of, quarter of whiskey. The rest money left was just for taxi, in fact, actually.
I was sad leaving family, but equally I was excited to start a new life.
It was very strange feeling, really, as if you have come to a different world, you see. Weather was, of course, it was very wintry.
The houses were different looking.
Everybody looked different, actually, different color, different outfit. Occasionally, sometimes you always get somebody who is odd, you see, and I have to, one has to ignore. This is the part of your life.
My daughter, when she was born, 6 weeks later I had to go to work. Yeah, so where do you leave your 6 weeks-old child? I always used to think, when I didn't have any support, I used to think I would never let my children go through this, what I'm going through, you know. When I was on call, their dad looked after very well. My husband and I grew, you know, had very close relationship, you know, because of that, probably because there was no support. He supported me and I supported him.
How do you feel when I'm at home?
I love it when you're at home. It feels like the family's complete. There's just a gap there, both in terms of like space taken up, mess and noise when you're not here. So it just makes the place feel really homely when you're back.
I'm Fiona Thomas.
And what's your relation to Asha?
Asha is my daughter. She's my eldest child. I was part of a relatively large family. My parents had multiple siblings, and a lot of them lived in and around the East End of Glasgow. It wasn't until I was a teenager, when my dad went to work in the Middle East, that really I experienced anyone kind of moving away for any period of time.
So I went to Glasgow University for my first university degree.
And he had a great time.
What were some things that you think he did when he was at uni?
All the things I wouldn't do. Oh, we were over the moon that our little boy has graduated.
I went to University of Glasgow. I was fortunate enough to get offers for all of the Scottish university medical schools, but you know, in my experience, you know, we had a great university on the doorstep, so there's no reason why we would have gone anywhere else.
I did 5 years at Glasgow Medical School, doing medicine. There's a student area of Glasgow called the West End, which was really amazing. Place and time, different variety of clubs, R&B clubs, hip hop clubs, pop clubs, and actual dance music clubs as well, quite famous ones.
Everybody, you know, that knows Glasgow knows that the West End's kind of like a cool, funky kind of place to be. There's a lot going on, lots of restaurants, cafes, bars, etc. You're really close to the city centre, but also really close to the university, nice parks, etc. So it was definitely, you know, the place to live. Yeah, so post-degree, a couple of years after graduation, I got married and moved into a flat, and that's where I had Asha. Asha was born when we were living in the West End.
Where's Asha? Where's Asha?
Asha.
You just kind of make the best of the situation that you find yourself in. I certainly didn't want to leave Scotland, but at the time, it was the decision that, I made. In Reading, where I lived, it was very multicultural, which was nice and kind of familiar to me. And then also I went from working part-time to having to work full-time.
It was a major life undertaking, moving all the stuff and, moving your house, selling your house, to find a new house. I had a job, but your mum didn't have a job and then got one, so finding jobs was tough.
And then having young children as well and wanting them to develop friendships and, they're starting to go to parties and all this kind of thing. So, you've got to put in a lot of effort, I think. I mean, nobody isolates you on purpose, but I think it is difficult when you haven't grown up somewhere and you don't really have any ties somewhere. It is difficult to feel integrated and part of a community, because what community are you part of?
No, he's not crying. He's quite happy.
I think it was really difficult to leave Glasgow because I had a lot of help from particularly my mother. And then nothing.
You're pretending to be shy. Give me a wave. Asha, give me a wave.
Hi, Grandad. Hi, Grandad.
I'll show you that on the television later.
And not even just my mother, but the more extended family. You know, 3 of my grandparents were still alive, aunts, uncles, cousins, my siblings.
I know you love your cousin, but be gentle. Oh, be careful, Asha. Oh, your battery's nearly done.
So it was very difficult. I think I underestimated how difficult it was going to be moving from a situation where I had all of that family support, and that if one of the kids was sick, you know, I could phone up and say, you know, Mum or Aunt Anna, can you kind of step in today because I have to go to work? And there wasn't any of that then after I moved. So that was a bit of a shock to the system, really.
Hello, this is Akash, and he's a very nice boy.
I moved due to work reasons to become a doctor down south. Any moves, you know, filled with trepidation and anxiety, especially moving your family miles away.
Not long after we moved, I realised that a career in medicine was just not going to be sustainable with the hours that were required and having 2 young children. So I changed careers into pharmaceutical medicine, and that gave me a 9-to-5 job, and I think that was really a godsend actually. That allowed me to be there for you and your brother and go to school events and, you know, have the weekends off and not have to think about night shifts and all this kind of thing, because it was a real diary juggle prior to that.
I'm excited to go home to my home friends, because home is where the heart is.
I'm not sure I ever really felt at home in Reading. I think the most important thing was that you and your brother got really settled at school and you developed really good friendships and social lives and you know, interests locally, so that, you know, you felt like it was kind of home. So that was important. I met Dan actually the day after. I want to say it was your 6th birthday. You guys were spending every other weekend with your dad and some nights in the week with your dad because he was still living in Reading at that time. And I just thought, well, I deserve my own life as well. Yeah, we've been together for, I feel like, 15 years. It all kind of like blurs into one happy memory now.
So, when did you meet Anna?
2014.
So my name is Anna Rajoriya. So I was born in Barberà, which is a small town city near Barcelona in Spain. So I finished my degree in 2013. So I moved to the UK, November 2013. I was recruited in Madrid and then they brought us here, well, to Oxford. When I met Neil, I was actually meant to go back to Spain for my job, and then I decided to stay. He told me he's moved about 14 times.
I think we worked out that we moved at least 20 times in 10 years.
He understood what it means to move away or pack your whole life in a suitcase, so that was very, very helpful.
Can I open this one first?
Oh, let's see where we are. I moved to Toronto in 2015.
He was offered a very good job opportunity to work in one of the biggest hospitals in Canada.
So today we're at the CN Tower and you can see the view now.
Being in the city of Toronto was amazing.
We keep saying it's the best year of our lives. We knew it was going to be a year, so that in the back of your mind, know that you're in a safe place, that you know you're not leaving anything behind for too long. It was tough. Any move brings uncertainty and being uncomfortable out of your comfort zone, because we didn't have anybody in there. So any problems would have been on our own. So it's after Canada, he got a job here in the QE, and he knew it was the job that he always wanted, so we just moved to Birmingham. So Ari was born in August 2021.
Stingy toes.
And Carlitos was born in June last year.
Once Neil got established in a post, that was the long-term plan, that we would move here.
And we were actually getting a bit old, so-called, and and we started thinking that actually, there is a time now to go.
Water. Look at the yellows in my cup.
And then you had another child?
Oh, yeah, a bit down the line, yeah. So we had Angus in 2019, just before COVID. I think we'd always wanted to add to the family, and for one reason or another, who knows how these things work. But anyway, eventually, a little bit later than anticipated, Angus came along, and yeah, he's been a joy, really. Asha, you were halfway through university, and Akash would be going to university, and Angus was about to start school, and we had the opportunity to give him the opportunity to be in a stable community with family nearby and have those kind of experiences that perhaps you and your brother hadn't had. It was a bit of a pivot point, really. We could choose to stay where we were, or we could do something a bit more drastic and move to be near family Wales.
Goodbye to the table then. It was Rajoriya. My time here is done.
My opinions on our movement is that it's important. I would definitely recommend it to my children to get experience.
It's always tricky because I think when you're an immigrant or emigrant from Spain, you never know where is home. Home is wherever Neil and you guys are and the kids.
We are both quite happy with our families and grandson, granddaughters, and we are quite, we never regret our coming here.
I just think you've got to always be open to change. Things happen for a reason.
I think it's good for people to move. I think it's good for people to see the world.
There's no change without a challenge, and there is no new results without a change.
And you make the best of the opportunities that are given to you.
You can always go back to where you belong. You can always go back to your parents if you have one. You can always go back to your friends. You can always go back unless you make the move or you experience the change. You will never know.
Do it when you can at right points in your life, because often later in life, for whatever reason, you're not able to. The world's a very big place. There's more to life than staying in one place.
And you never know who's going to be your next friend.
Fifi, Fiona, this one's for you. We love you, Fiona.
Everything will be good and will work out as long as you're open to change.
You know, everything in life happens for a reason and happens because of a sequence of events that have happened before it.
For me, the more I have grown up, the more I have learned to appreciate the family I have around me. Their actions, choices, and sacrifices have led me to where I am today. It's because of them I have found my passions. It's because of them I am surrounded by beautiful people. Put simply, without their movement, I just wouldn't be me.
The answer is yes, really. We are happy here.